Hello and welcome to another episode of Down the Track. I have with me my co-host Abrar Aziz. How are you doing, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And Mr. Hamza Mohammed, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Musti. Thank you for having me.
And Mr. Yusuf Ismail, my brother, how are you doing?
Hey man, how are you guys doing?
Alhamdulillah, everything is good. So today we'll be discussing captaincy. And it's going to be a lot of fun because we'll be looking at we'll be picking one captain from each country from the 10 playing nations, test playing nations, and for all formats basically we'll pick one captain. How does that sound, guys?
Exciting.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's go. So let's go with Australia first. Australia options: Steve Waugh, Ricky Ponting, Michael Clark.
I was waiting for Yusuf to say Steve Waugh and then for me to fight it.
No, I'll say Alan Border. Alan Border. He's my pick.
You saw him?
Ooh.
No, I didn't see him.
I was like, if you go far behind, then it gets hard. So from the people
players
that
we've seen, yeah.
But yeah,
Tim Payne, good shout.
Tim Payne.
No.
I mean,
No.
honestly,
No.
like in turmoil times, like in when Australia was like in. I mean, of course, we've all watched the series that was on Amazon Prime. Like they made him look so great in that. So I feel like you should just give him an honorable mention at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we're looking at all the formats preferably, but like so I think for me Ponting and Steve Waugh. Even though Steve Waugh never did T20s, but like overall, I think he was an amazing captain as well.
I mean,
I think Michael Clark also was decent because he didn't have the same team as
Yeah.
both of them.
No doubt.
He won a World Cup.
He won a World
And
Cup,
then-
yeah. He won Ashes as well.
Ashes also.
Yeah.
2015 World Cup. Yeah, he was actually a very good captain too. Yeah.
So if you look at it like
but I think
that,
based on
if you look at it,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off, but if you look at it how Hamzu said, Steve Waugh and Ponting both had great teams. Maybe Clark's team wasn't as great, but his captaincy was really good, so that's why probably he's in contention as well.
True. I mean, definitely Ponting had world beaters, but to win it two times as a captain is something that I don't think anyone else has ever achieved. So, I mean, I guess the Windies from back in the day, but I don't think any captain has won it twice in a row, right? I think he won it 2003, 2007 together. So,
Yeah.
for that reason, I think Ponting takes the pick. I mean, Steve Waugh
Are we just doing like ODI captain or like both, like in general both?
Both.
Like the
just
best captain?
in general,
In
both. I
general,
think.
both, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just do like tested ODIs,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
both, yeah. Bhaiya, your
But, I
opinion?
mean,
It's very interesting because if you look at Australia from like late 80s until end of the 2010s, beginning of 2010s, it's like they had Alan Border who set up the entire infrastructure. Then Steve Waugh elevated them to invincibles. Then Ricky Ponting took that to another level. And then when they were just dipping, Michael Clark kept them at that same level, right? And then that's when the entire thing kind of collapsed. So like it's
Yeah.
very difficult. It depends on your criteria. The greatest, it depends. Are you looking at stats? Are you looking at World Cup wins? Like, I'm gonna
I
just
think
for
it's just
argument's sake.
yeah.
For argument's sake, I'm gonna say Steve Waugh, just because Ponting lost a good series in England in 2005. That was a very memorable. Like whenever you think of that, it's like a memorable thing. So I don't know. I
I have
think
a
Steve Waugh-
counter. I have a counter to that, but it'll piss you off. But I have a counter.
I think that
to
was the first time Australia lost a series in England after a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Steve Waugh also did lose a series in 2001 against India. Similar.
Yeah.
It was very similar. So that
It
was
was
just my
after a
counter.
long time too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a
I-
counter. But yeah, sorry.
And I guess it always comes down to preference. I don't think any stats and stuff like that matter. I think at the end of the day, I think we just have to take a vote and like see. I know Yusuf and his love for Steve Waugh. It's very evident in all our chats.
It's
but,
only because when I was growing up and I was watching cricket at a time when India were just about to peak. They weren't that great, 97, 98, 99. And I just remember whenever I watched Australia, Steve Waugh would be there at the end with the tail.
Yeah,
And for some reason, that
absolutely.
grit was insane. I just
And-
admired that.
No, he is incredible. Like I mean, I have not seen someone who plays as well with tail as he does. So and just generally like his captaincy, like taking Australia to like bringing him then to that invincible level. I think lot of credit to him. I just feel like 2 World Cups for Ponting kind of just takes it a little further ahead for me. But Hamza, I want to hear what you have to say.
I don't know. I mean, Ponting obviously is like the best player out of all the three, but I mean, as a captain, like when you're looking at personality and stuff, I think Steve Waugh slightly better than Ponting. I mean, according to me, that's what I've seen.
All right, let's go. Let's vote. Let's vote. Let's see how it goes. Like, if it's
Go for it, Don.
okay, Ponting.
Bhaiya.
Wow.
Hamzu.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, because I like Ricky Ponting also so much. Actually, I'll just stick to Ponting. I think safe side. Because I saw Steve Waugh in the end, so I mean, I'd go for Ponting. Fair for Ponting.
I mean,
I think Australia is going to just be the hardest for us to decide. I think the other teams will get easier. But this is like, we've got some incredible
Mustafa,
captains.
what's your choice?
Yeah,
You haven't
Musti,
given
come
your
on.
opinion.
I mean, the thing is, I saw Steve Waugh like in 99, from 99 to like 2001 to Ponting. I've seen more of him as a captain. Yeah, he had an amazing team and everything, but also with that amazing team, you still, to be that consistent, that means you have to handle personalities as well, like Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, Hayden. These guys are not like simple personalities. Simons, these guys are different characters, right? Like you have an amazing team, but like to be that consistent for so long, that means like he needed to do something. I don't rate him as the best captain of all time, Ponting, but I think from Australia, nothing against Steve Waugh, I think he's amazing, but I would just go with Ponting just because I've seen more of him. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's fair. Ponting then for Australia.
Ricky Ponting for Australia. So we'll move on to England. I think so. In England, who are for me, it's very
So many.
like, I mean, I have a personal favorite, but like there's a lot. There's Michael Vaughan. There's Andrew Strauss. There is sorry.
I was saying Andrew Strauss also.
Andrew Strauss,
Yeah. Morgan.
Ian Morgan, but
Although just one days,
one
but,
days,
but just like a
he won a
captain, yeah.
World Cup, so you have to keep him there.
Yeah,
He changed one-day cricket for England, right? So
yeah.
he's right there.
I'll tip my hat for Michael Vaughan. I don't think he was a great captain, but he won them that series. So.
Yeah, Ashes, the most important Ashes. Like, I mean, the amount that it meant to England to win that Ashes was huge. So
for me, it's
but I don't rate him as a good batsman. Like I think he's a good batsman, but I don't think he was like a world beater. He was average. Like whatever.
By his own admission, he says he's an average batsman, but he has the Ashes. So
yeah.
For me,
Strauss is a good shout.
Yeah, Strauss won it in Australia, the Ashes.
Yeah,
I think that is a great achievement. For me, like, I have to get this name in there. Maybe you guys won't agree, but Nasir Hussain, because he changed. I think his captaincy was unbelievable. Like, if you guys go back and look in 2001 or 2, England toured Sri Lanka and Pakistan like back to back. He won both Test series, and at that time it was impossible for like a team like England or to win in the subcontinent. So for me, I think that was like a changing point in English cricket. And he, even though that was Vaughan's team in 2005, Nasir Hussain started building that team. Like under him, Flintoff came, and the likes of Hogarth came, and these bowlers, Harmison. Yeah. Michael Vaughan himself came under Nasir Hussain's captaincy. So for me, it's Nasir Hussain, but I can't argue with Andrew Strauss either. Hamzu?
I think I'll go with Strauss. I think he won the series in India also. I think
2011. He was the captain.
11. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, then definitely Strauss is.
I'd go for Strauss. Even I think they were the number one ranked team in Test at that time. So I'd lean towards Strauss.
He's a good shout. Don?
Was he the ODI captain for a significant amount of time as well? Like, was he the captain when they?
I think in the World Cup, I think in 2011 he was the captain.
He was the captain. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That India.
He made like 100. He made 100 something.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah, I mean, fair shot. Strauss is. It's just that for me, I just feel like Morgan needs to, but I guess he was not a Test captain, so it's hard to like pick him. But just he won the World Cup for England after, which they never won. So it's like such a deal for England to win the World Cup. But then he was never Test captain, so I think it's unfair to. So I guess we could go with Strauss, but I'm just for the sake of argument and vote, I'm gonna go with Morgan. And if you guys can outvote me.
I mean, we all got different people.
But I think both of you had Strauss, right? Almost all of you had Strauss.
I mean,
Didn't you also have Strauss?
Strauss,
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't make a pick yet because I was just thinking.
Michael Vaughan.
I just said Michael won, but compared to these guys, no. Like I changed my mind. Like my one Test victory doesn't do it.
I mean,
again,
they won
it's
in South
different-
Africa as well at that time. Like they were a pretty solid team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a pretty solid team.
A World Cup in one day counts a big deal, but I think that this England team was stacked, and while it needed good captaincy to win, I think it was one of those situations like Australia in 2007 where it's like an autopilot kind of team almost. Like you just expected them to win, right? So
Right.
I will say Andrew Strauss because he managed kind of the middle of the two generations. Like he took over from Hussein and Vaughan, and then like he handed it over to like Morgan and the newer generation. And overall he didn't win like a World Cup, and maybe in one days his record wasn't that good. But I'll just say Andrew Strauss because in England there's not a remarkable captain. You don't have that big story like Dhoni or Ganguly. Like you don't have that kind of consistent story. So I'll just say Andrew Strauss just for more consistency, but Morgan would be second, Nasser Hussain third, because he did change the game, but unfortunately, like he didn't win a major championship. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I think that's very, very correctly put. I think I don't think I can argue with that analogy. So I'll change my vote to Strauss.
You don't have to. There's majority. They both got Strauss. So me and you.
So technically, we get outvoted, but that's fine. It's okay.
Even me, like for me, it's Nasser Hussain, but like I can't argue with that. Like,
but I think he put it very well.
Yeah, you can't
also put it
argue
very
with
well. So there's no way to.
Okay, so we got Ricky Ponting from England and Andrew Strauss Ricky Ponting from Australia and Andrew Strauss from England. Now let's move ahead. We'll go South Africa. Let's go.
ABD.
ABD was never captain, man. Was he? Oh yeah, he was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Really short time.
Yeah, he was.
Very short time.
Yes. ABD.
But it doesn't count. I'm just saying, it doesn't count. He hasn't done much. I don't think.
ABD for me it's Graeme Smith. I know you want to go Hansi.
Has to be Graham's.
I know you love Hansi Cronje, but for me it's Graeme Smith, man.
He's disqualified, bro. He's disqualified. Ajuma can also be there also. Ajuma is not allowed to he's my pick from India team. But I mean, let me just mention something about Cronje. I was watching a documentary on him, and this guy is forget about all the match fixing. I mean, you can't forget that, but like to set that aside, ignore it for a bit. But his personality in South Africa, they worshipped him. Like the South African fans loved him. That even after he got caught, they still respected him. Like the South African fans, that status he had as a captain and thing, it was like unbelievable. Like the following he had.
He was on another level. It's just unfortunate the way it turned out.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but even they had a good team. 99 was probably one of the best South African teams of all time, which he captained. And I mean,
if only Alan Donald would have not run that thing.
Yeah. But I think, but I think Graeme Smith, at a young age, he got the captaincy. After they got knocked out from the World Cup, Sean Pollock gave it to him. I mean, he took it from Sean Pollock, and he absolutely killed it. He was very consistent in Tests and One Days. Bhaiya, what do you say?
Batting was his batting was sublime because I remember, I don't know, it was the series just after he became captain, 2004 maybe, England.
He went to
summer.
England, yeah. He
scored so many runs. I remember watching that series. He was unbeatable. He made a double 100. He made 100 in that series.
Yeah.
He was aggressive as a batsman. He was aggressive as a captain. Yes, he didn't win anything. So maybe in the top 10 captains of the world, he might not be up there. But I think he's the most prominent captain in South Africa. Sean Pollock, TK, Hansi Cronje, yeah, sure. You can even talk about... who was after Graeme Smith?
I think A.B. de Villiers. I think they all.
I think there was.
De Villiers,
They tried. Hashim Amla tried.
tried.
There was Faf du Plessis.
Yeah, Faf du Plessis.
Yeah, so you can't. There's too many guys, and it's like you don't remember who they are. So like it's Graeme Smith, undoubtedly.
It has to be Graeme Smith. I think that's a unanimous decision.
And he had a lot of courage. He was injured once against Australia in Australia Test series with a broken hand. He came and batted like it leads from the front. So, okay, Graeme Smith is confirmed. And now next, let's go Bangladesh.
You missed West
Khalid
Indies.
Islam.
वहाँ से
What's
जाके
his
आना
name?
था.
वहाँ से आता हूँ मैं. I had to bring in some Asian team, man. It's been a while.
True. Fair enough.
Mushfiqur Rahim, Mashrafe, Mortaza,
Mashrafe Mortaza.
Ashraful. No,
man.
Ashraful to डाल दिया.
Back in the day, man, what's his name? Khalid Islam or something?
No, Habibul Bashar.
Habibul Bashar.
Habibul Bashar.
Habibul
Oh
Bashar.
yeah.
Habibul Bashar.
Me, Khalid Masood bhi tha.
Yeah,
Khalid
Khalid.
Masood there too. Yeah.
For
Khalid
me-
Masood, I don't remember.
For me, it's Mashrafe Mortaza. He's actually a really
Yeah,
good
for me
captain.
also.
He's a good
his
captain.
field placements, bowling changes. Even in this World Cup, if you notice, yeah, they didn't make it, but some of the games they won, like his captaincy was on point. And even in the Champions Trophy, they made the semi-finals in 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
Was he a consistent Test captain though? I don't
no,
think so.
no. But
Not
I
really.
mean,
But
like,
I think
yeah.
Bangladesh. I think that's a fair shout.
that's a
because
fair shout.
I don't
yeah.
think Bangladesh has won too many tests or anything of the sort. Also, like
Yeah, and like even in the Asia Cup, they lost to India in the finals, but they were there. I mean, they under him, they've been consistently competing. Even against India, there have been some very close games.
True.
The Nitin Das Trophy, right? Or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That's okay,
The
Yeah,
Nidas
that was
Trophy.
also Krish
Yeah.
Karthik.
Yeah.
And he might have been captain in the 2016 T20 as well, when he got run out, when Dhoni did the run out in the last ball.
Oh no! Was
Oh
it,
no, but that was Rahim. I
Mushfiqur
think that was Mushfiqur Rahim. around
Okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah, I think it was.
But I
Mushfiqur
think that's because he was injured or something like that. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
this guy has been solid.
But I think I think Mashrafe is fair.
So
Mashrafe
we have
Mortaza, let's
three
go.
votes for Mashrafe, one for Khalid Masood. And then, you're fine with Mashrafe, right?
You guys remember Muhammad Rafiq, the left-arm spinner?
Yeah, I remember it. Mohammad Rafiq, left-arm
Oh.
spinner. But yeah, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, so we have.
Big D, Mashrafe.
Yeah.
He's not even taking seriously the Bangladesh one.
He's like तुम लाभ बोल दो रे भाई.
West Indies, man. So we have Brian Lara. Who was after that, bro? Huh?
Carl Hooper.
Carl Hooper.
Hooper was a
I think Sarwan was also.
Yeah, Sarwan.
Sarwan.
Chandrapal was there too, I think, maybe.
Was Chandrapal a captain? I was thinking. I can't remember him having a significant captaincy.
Maybe brief.
Briefly, maybe, yeah.
Ridley Jacobs.
But who stands out? Ridley Jacobs.
For me, if you're looking just like a success and thing, it has to be Darren Sammy, man. 2 T20 World Cups.
Yeah.
2 T20
I mean,
World Cups.
That's
He didn't.
true. Like
He didn't bat ball. He was just captaining, man. That's all he was doing, and they won. And it worked. Whatever. Like I don't know who made that strategy. If it was him, he's a genius because like.
I agree.
And I'm sure he picked those players because he was the captain. I mean, he had some influence, and he picked it to go aggressive, right? So. 2 T20, I know it's like difficult to judge, but like if you look at West Indies from when we started watching, they weren't dominant force, right? So
Exactly. I think they have to give it to Darren Sammy. He has 2 World Cups versus there's no. I don't remember another consistent long-term West Indian captain. Like everyone played for a small.
I mean,
period
Chris
of time.
Gale also captain. Gale also captain.
Yeah,
Bravo also
yeah.
captain. Pollard
Bravo
captain.
Yeah.
I mean, Pollard right
so
now he looks like a decent
he's
captain.
also-
Yeah, right now.
But he hasn't done much.
Yeah, he's not done
This guy has
much.
2 World Cups.
Yeah, I can't argue. But I mean,
Yeah, you can't fight that.
like because
I
we
want
have.
to hear Hamzu's opinion, man. I want to hear Hamzu's opinion.
I mean, I'll stick with Sammy. I think there's so much. There's different personalities in that West Indies team. I think he brought them together.
Yeah.
I think if he got them to like perform in 2 World Cups consistently at the big stage, I think you have to go for Sammy. Because otherwise, there's not much to like choose. I mean, they haven't been consistent. So, I mean, if he got them to be consistent, I think you'll have to stick with Sammy.
Yeah, like back in the day, you'd go Clive Lloyd, but we haven't seen him. But like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I would
Way
say the
back.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Was
his
Riv
record-
Richards captain after him? Or no?
I think he might have, but
Yeah.
Lloyd's record was crazy with World Cups and
Yeah.
Test matches.
Yeah. True.
So he was like the Ponting Steve-O at that time, but we haven't seen him, right? So for me, it's Darren Sammy. What do you guys? You guys
Maybe.
all agree?
Big D, your pick?
Darren Sammy is like I think he deserves to be on the list because he's the captain of 2 World Cup winning teams and he's literally done nothing. I think any one of us could bat against him while he's bowling and smash him. I think his batting, okay, he's got some clean hitting and all that stuff, but he's just like an inspirational leader. He literally won them on leadership, so he deserves
Yeah,
it.
he has a charisma. He gets them going, and like I think he knows how to make them a proper unit. I think.
Yeah. I think,
Even the
I think just for
IPL,
that.
he had the baby like pacifier.
Yeah.
He's
That's
done,
charisma.
and even for the PSL, right?
Yeah, Peshawar
Hasn't he won the
Zalmi.
PSL?
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Zalmi.
Peshawar team. Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I think even Lara was like not. He was decent. I mean, his team was on the downside, but I mean, I think it was Champions Trophy. I think in 2006. I think they came in the final with
2000.
Australia. I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, they
I
did.
think so. I think there was
But,
a rain-affected game. Yeah, I think.
But in 2004, they won the Champions Trophy, West Indies.
Yeah, so I think that's what I was saying. I think Lara. I mean, I think he was the
Lara's
captain.
he's a good shout as well.
But obviously, I'm just
Yeah.
putting one more name in. I think
Yeah.
Sammy's.
Lara, but I don't know how consistent he was, how long he was the captain.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he's also there, but yeah, I would just go with Sammy.
all right, let's go.
Yeah, sorry.
World
Oh, go Big D. Sorry, cut you off.
No, I was just saying that I'll throw in Carl Hooper as an honorable mention. He kind of built a good team.
Yeah, 100%.
After 96, 99 World Cup where they basically didn't have anything, Walsh, Ambrose had gone. So he kind of picked them up a bit, and he was a good batsman. So I'll throw him in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think we'll stick with Darren Sammy, I think, and then now let's
Yep.
go Sri Lanka.
Ranatunga.
Ranatunga is very good. Shot.
He's my boy, man. Ranatunga. I can't argue with him. Kaun bola Ranatunga?
He has a World Cup also. Big D.
Oh, you said Ranatunga. I can't. Ranatunga, man. Hamzu hasn't seen him, so like.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
But I mean, who would you go with? Jarudine? Hamzu?
For me,
Mahela.
no doubt.
Mahela,
I think,
definitely.
at
Even
that time,
Ranatunga, even I haven't seen much. Sorry, Hamza, go ahead.
Sorry, I think 2007 final. I think then 2009 T20 World Cup final. Then
Yeah.
11 finals
I think
also.
in the final they
2011.
lost to West Indies. Then I think so many finals. 2011 World Cup
11
final. I
World
think,
Cup final.
No, 11. Sangakkara was captain. No final.
I think
No, I
Jawad-
think it was Mahela only.
No, Sangakkara.
Mahela was.
Toss करे
Yeah,
थे
yeah.
याद नहीं है.
Sangha?
Sangakkara flicked it. Yeah. I'm like 90% sure. Sangakkara was
Acha.
captain.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
they were
yeah. I
changing
mean,
both, eh?
yeah. They were like, but like,
I
yeah.
like Javardhan, yeah.
I mean, Jarudine was there for a long time as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, Ranatunga, man, you can't beat him.
And he has the World Cup too. 96 World Cup is also there.
Who was the captain there when Sri Lanka won the World Cup?
96, Ranatunga.
No, the T20 World Cup, 2014 mein. When they beat
Oh,
India.
I think Javardhan, right? No?
Bro.
I mean, I was.
Just check it out. Someone research it.
check.
Because
But,
that's an important landmark. Yeah, 2014 is an important landmark. Just to be safe.
Malinga.
Oh,
Malinga? Captain?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Interesting. So then
yeah.
Malinga comes into the picture then.
He's not a captain, man.
We're going.
But he is also the current captain, no? I think he is the current captain also.
He was recently, yeah.
I mean, they are bad right now, but
Yeah. I mean, in the 96, it was like.
personally, I haven't seen Ranatunga, so I can't find it. I have seen his highlights, though I haven't seen him play live.
Yeah.
But he has a World Cup. The 96 World Cup is a big
Yeah,
deal. So.
and a very a fact you guys should know, like that. I mean, it's not a fact, but in my opinion, that 96 World Cup was like Bangladesh winning the World Cup, right? Like at that time,
for
no
them
one,
at that
yeah,
time, yeah, no one expected Sri Lanka.
Yeah, they didn't have a bad team, but like no one expected them. Like they just changed cricket. Jasuda came smashing, and then in the final, Ranatunga's innings was crazy as well. And De Silva as well played good.
Yeah.
Like it was a good partnership.
Ivan
in the
De Silva was
De
the
Silva.
most valuable player. Like he was, I
Yeah.
think, player of the tournament. He was the man of the match in the final. And you're right. Like the impact that team had, it was like similar to Darren Sammy. Ranatunga wasn't a great batsman. He was okay. He held the bat as if he's going to late cut every ball, and he just tried to late cut. Even thing on leg side, maybe I thought he tried to late cut it behind third man. But like he brought a team together, which revolutionized one-day batting. It had a world beater in Arvinda De Silva, and they had young Murli, young Chaminda Vas,
And they-
I think push.
They changed the way opening batting goes also, like with Jayasuriya coming in and smashing it all across the park, as in like that was. I mean, it's a very, very fair shot, but I honestly didn't think of Ranatunga when we were discussing this. I just knew that I thought that it would be unanimous Mahela, but this is a
Yeah.
Okay, so now
decent,
we have to kind of decide has more weight: winning championships or winning titles, or consistent captaincy, the strategy, and intellect, because that's how you're going to choose in this case. Because Jayawardene didn't win any major titles, but he was consistent. You can prove that he has an amazing cricket mind, because I think he's very high up in Mumbai Indians. They value him to be very, like
He's
the
head
central
coach.
strategic cog. Yeah, he's the strategic cog in Mumbai Indians in a team which had people like Ricky Ponting, Sachin Tendulkar as in the coaching staff, Robin Singh, but Jayawardene has persisted in the last while. So, you have to decide. Like, I'm down for either one. You guys pick.
I'll go
We
Ranatunga.
with history, we've kind of gone with Sammy and we've gone with Ponting based off of title winnings. So we have to give it to Ranatunga based off of that.
Yeah, I mean,
We
you
gave
don't
it to Sammy.
you don't have to do it. Like, I mean, like you can still change it. Like, you don't have to have that criteria. You can change it depending on who. Just for me, it's because of that particular Sri Lankan team. No one gave them a chance, and the way he did that. I mean, that's just my opinion. But Jayawardene is a good shot, but for me, it's Ranatunga. That's why. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be. Even if he didn't win the World Cup, but he took them to the final, I would still consider him.
I think
we-
that's fine.
Because
Can
he
we do an
changed one day
exemption
cricket.
and say, can we do an exemption because two of you haven't seen him and two of us have? We'll give it to both for this one. Because you two haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen World Cup. I just heard the stories. Like the '96, I started seeing only in '99. So
I mean, it would be fair to give it to him also. So I don't have.
I
any
think we can
problem.
just give it to him. I think just for the sake of keeping one person per team.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I think Mahela is a very, very close second. Like it's just a
The
matter
closest
of
second, yeah.
the
Yeah,
closest that
closest
could
second.
possibly.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. I think. I think that's fair enough. Moving on. Now we'll do this quickly because the last one's going to be a long debate between me and Don. So.
I won't listen. I will not listen.
This one. Next one is New Zealand. Stephen Fleming, McCullum, Kane Williamson,
Cairns.
Chris Cairns. Chris Cairns wasn't captain.
थोड़ी time के लिए था. He was there for a short period.
He was there for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
He was just my hero. I
Give it to
love Chris
Fleming.
Cairns as a
I love
as
Chris
as an all-rounder, he's amazing. But Fleming, I have a lot of respect for him. I think he was a really good captain, very calm, very sharp. You can see that with his coaching in Chennai Super Kings. But McCullum changed New Zealand cricket for me, and he changed one-day cricket. Like even Morgan took a leaf out of McCullum's book, and he said himself that he's like my best friend, and like I use those tactics. Like I mean, I use that method of captaincy. So for me, it's
But
McCullum.
Kane, boss. Kane.
Williamson.
So
I mean,
Kane Williamson,
Williamson is right up there as well. Like
I
it's
think
not-
all the three are really, really good.
Yeah,
shots.
they're
It
all
depends
up
on
there.
like what.
Yeah,
what
it's
you
on
want,
personal
what
opinion.
criteria.
Like Williamson,
Yeah.
you'll say because Sunrisers. Hamzu doesn't like Sunrisers, so he can choose McCullum. He can choose McCullum.
Hey, Sunrisers was second pick,
but
bhai.
for the World Cup final also, World Cup final also.
Both are
But
World
like,
Cup
consider-
finals.
Both World Cup finals. In fact, yeah,
Ma-
McCullum also.
McCullum
won.
also
Baz
World Cup
also.
final.
Yeah, that's true. For
Yeah,
2015.
but that's what I'm saying. Like I can't argue with Williamson, but I'm just telling you the points for McCullum because Williamson is right up there, man. Like and the way
Yeah.
you could actually give
The
it
way
to
they
Williamson.
lost,
Yeah,
they
the way
didn't
they
lose.
lost.
They
Yeah.
didn't lose.
That's
Yeah.
why I would maybe change my mind for Williamson, but I was just talking about like the philosophy of the one-day cricket and how like he made it an attacking team. And this core team, the New Zealand one, like Bolt, Williamson, Guptill, these guys all played under McCullum first.
They started off and then
Yeah.
they became better.
But yeah,
I mean,
like you can go with Williamson as well. Let's vote first. Don, you go first.
Kane. Personal preference.
Bhaiya, you go first. Just a second.
The top one, I'll go with Kane.
Hamzu.
I like McCullum, so I'll go with McCullum.
I would go with McCullum as well, but this this will.
Okay, let's just talk about it more. Like you could argue Kane Williamson is not done. He still has like potential. He can still go forward and do more and achieve more.
हमसे हैदराबाद को भी फाइनल तक लेके गया उन्हें विलियमसन.
Actually, Kane's like a slightly more versatile. I think he has like a different, like more tactics to his game, like more facets. I think to his personality to manage. I think McCullum was like pretty one-dimensional. I think. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can
He
change.
did
That's a good
change.
point.
Yeah, he did change New Zealand cricket. So,
Yeah.
Hamza, you're changing. I heard you change.
I mean, yeah. I think Kane is also fine. I mean, both were good, like I said.
Yeah,
So
I mean we'll respect the fact that McCullum changed New Zealand cricket like in that sense, but I think I like Williamson is a good shout. Like I can't disagree with that either.
He didn't lose the World Cup finals. I want to put it out there. He didn't lose. He drew it.
Rules are rules.
He drew it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That some nonsensical rule that was there.
Yeah, and I mean the way he conducted himself, like with spirit of the game, I think you have to consider that as well. Like if that was Virat Kohli or somebody or anybody else, like they would have gone crazy. Like anybody, like any other captain would have lost it. Like I can't see, even if it's Australian David Warner, these guys wouldn't have tolerated that, I think. But
True.
so let's go Kane Williamson.
Have you had all the other 9 teams done?
No, I think
Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. Of
Yeah,
course.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Inzamam.
Shahid bhai.
Yunus Khan.
Yunus Khan, I think, won the
T20.
2009
Yeah.
World Cup.
For me, Sarfaraz Ahmed hands down, man. वैसी टीम को Champions Trophy जिताया उन्हें, वैसी टीम को, like that 2017 team. Yeah, Misbah as well. Like he made them a good test team.
Umar Akmal.
Oh no.
I'm going with my bad cricket inspiration, Inzamam because I was called Inzamam on the pitch. So I'm going...
Inzi?
But yeah,
I mean, like, you know,
I think he didn't win anything. He did not win anything, that's for sure. But he won like a series in India, I think, in 2005. He kind of stabilized Pakistani cricket where they were, like, I think, performing at a very consistent level. He captained, I think, did he captain Wasim Akram at the end of his career or no?
I think after the 2003 World Cup, I think they retired. So
They retired,
so he didn't. Yeah, but I think he took a bunch of young boys, and like under him, like Muhammad Yusuf came up. You know, Yunus Khan came up under him.
Yeah.
Shoaib Akhtar, no, but you know, like there's some players who became good and leaders in Pakistani cricket after he kind of brought them into the team. So he's maybe not the greatest of all time. You can argue Imran Khan was. I think if you ask any Pakistani, Imran Khan is the greatest captain in history. It disqualifies him in our discussion because I've never seen him live. But this is a special case because any Pakistani will tell you Imran Khan, hands down. But we can't 100%. Use him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a World Cup also, right? So. Yeah. And he's that kind of a leader also.
Yeah, I mean, if I
we
saw
haven't seen
him,
him, so we can't fight him.
Yeah, if I saw him, I would definitely pick him. But yeah, I mean, so one Inzamam, Hamzu, who would you go for?
I mean, for me, I think Inzamam and Misbah were like consistent. Sarfaraz won the Champions Trophy, but I don't know.
With that team, man, with Fakhar Zaman opening the batting.
Team also. Huh?
Fakhar Zaman was opening the batting, man. Imad Wasim.
I mean, you have to look at consistency also, like who was consistent as a player, who could see someone in the long term. So I think Inzamam, Misbah for his like test thing, but I mean Inzamam, I think I'll go for Inzamam.
Wasim Akram also is a shout, no?
Yeah, Wasim Akram.
Wasim Akram also was a good captain. Yeah.
But Wasim Akram, he never did anything of note.
Yeah, it was a short period also. It wasn't like he wasn't significant time since he was captain. I would go with Imzi. I mean, Imzi was a very good captain. I mean, he had a terrible runner between the wicket, but very good captain. So he did.
I think at that time Pakistan had like a really like solid team. Like they had such a good batting lineup. I think Muhammad Yusuf, Yunus Khan, and all that. So it was like a stable team. I think. So I think, and that's difficult for Pakistan cricket. There's so much chopping and changing. I think at Inzamam's time it was like really stable.
Yeah, I mean that's true. So Inzi?
Misbah al-Haq was a good captain. Like newer generation of Pakistani fans who maybe saw like from 2010 onwards kind of thing. You could say that Misbah was a good captain. He took like a very rowdy bunch and kind of disciplined them, and he unified them as well. But I think honestly, after Imran Khan, there hasn't been, even Javed Miandad was before that, or he was after that. I don't know their politics because I think there was back and forth. But there hasn't been anyone who's touched that level of Imran Khan. So like any pick that we have, you can argue that he's definitely not the greatest Pakistani captain of all time. But because they'll never reach that pinnacle unless so they win the World Cup again.
Who was the World Cup? Who was the captain?
Yunus Khan.
When they won the 20.
Yeah.
Oh, Yunus Khan.
But the thing is, I would have like considered Misbah because if he won that, but Yunus Khan was the captain. But that's the thing with Pakistan. It was the talent which won them the tournament. It wasn't really the captaincy. Like Imran Khan, he was an amazing captain, but at this time I think it was more their talent. Inzamam was more stable, I guess. So I mean, people can argue over here. You can have your own opinion. Like there's no wrong or right, but I think for me it's Inzamam, I guess.
We can go with Imzi. I think it's a preference at this point, so we can go with Imzi for that.
Okay, now we're done. We just have one more.
No, wait. Just make
there's-
sure to double check that you have all the things, because I don't know if we did the Zimbabwe count.
No.
These are just 10. No. Okay, so Australia we had Ponting,
Yeah.
and then we did England. We had Strauss.
Yeah.
Then we went to
South
South
Africa.
Africa. We picked Smith.
Yeah.
Then we went to Bangladesh. Picked Mashrafe Mortaza.
Yeah.
Then we went to West Indies. Picked
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Then we did 6 was Ranatunga for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we did Kane for Bangladesh for
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Wow, brain fart there. And then we did Pakistan. We're missing one team.
Inzamam.
Yeah, but we are missing
8.
one team. We have 8.
Who are the test playing nations?
West Indies, we didn't count. Do you count West Indies?
Yeah, we
Sammy?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I counted. Yeah, I counted West Indies.
Ireland, Bangla. We're not doing Ireland, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, but why are we missing one team?
I-
We did.
Ireland is a test team.
It is a test playing nation.
Yeah. Who are we missing?
But
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, okay, so fair enough. So
Just
then
check
now
it.
I think
Just-
we are left
just
with.
check the ICC top 10 and just see it.
Okay, one second. I'll do it.
I don't think Zimbabwe is currently playing. So, test matches, Nikhil.
Zimbabwe, number 10. Was the-
It is Zimbabwe?
yeah.
But they recently got. I think they recently got thing. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So
Yeah,
I
so
don't think
Zimbabwe.
we can count. I don't think we have enough of who is there in Zimbabwe.
That-
What are the
Andy Flower, Khalas. And the heat
Khalas,
streak,
Khalas.
that's Flower.
Kalas. Heat streak, yeah.
I disagree. I want a tender Taibo. But okay, fine. Yeah, okay, that's done.
Andy Flower. Okay, fair enough.
Andy Flower was captain or Alistair Campbell was captain at that time?
Flower also captain.
Okay,
Flower
Andy
was a
Flower.
captain. Yeah,
Okay. So now let's go to the last one. We're all waiting for.
I mean, there's no need to go for this. Let's just all agree
Let's
to
watch them.
I have
Let's watch
valid
them.
arguments.
the Bayanga argument. I suntu which name. No, okay.
Who do
but
you think
I
I'm
want-
gonna say? I'm not gonna say Virat Kohli.
I don't want Virat Kohli. I'm saying Dhoni.
I'm not saying Virat
Dhoni,
Kohli.
yeah.
I'm saying
You're
Ganguly.
saying Ganguly, no?
Yeah, Ganguly.
Yeah. I agree with every single valid point you have, but I'm just saying whatever Ganguly gave, he took it and he took it to next level. So that's the only reason. Okay, so I know you're Ganguly. Hamzu, who are you?
Dhoni any day.
And Big D?
Dhoni.
Let me
Much
ask
as
you
I
a
hate-
question. Let me ask you a question. Okay, fine. If this was a Test cricket discussion, would you still pick Dhoni?
If it was Test cricket, I would have considered Ganguly
Consider
for sure.
what? There's a huge difference in records. Ganguly is much more
Yeah,
successful.
no, that's why. But that's what. No, at the end of the day, it comes down to preference, and it comes down to the World Cup. He won the World Cup. He was the number one ODI side in 2009, 2010 for a brief period. He was number one Test side for a brief period under Dhoni, and he took over captaincy when it was shambles. Like they were knocked out of the 2007 World Cup early. There was like a lot of those issues. He took it over at that time. He went in first big ICC tournament. He won the World Cup in T20, and then took 4 years, won the one day World Cup, and he was never like the kind of in your face kind of guy. Nothing. He was just. I mean, I don't know. I completely agree. Ganguly changed Indian cricket. After some turmoil, also I agree. Like there was issues with Ajubai and that period of time where they were like a little bit inconsistent and everything. But
Okay, I'm
He
gonna
took it
stop
out.
you right there. The greatest captain for India ever is my hero, Sachin Tendulkar.
Azharuddin also you can't count out Azharuddin as well.
no, I think Ajubai was a great captain. I think he was. I think he was a incredible batsman and incredible captain also. It was just a little bit of an unfortunate situation with him, which we have to, for the sake of. I don't know.
I'll
but-
tell you why I'm
Say my
taking.
piece.
Yeah.
Let me just say my part, and then you guys can continue the discussion. Because I think out of all of you, I've seen more Indian cricket from '96 to now, right? Who are your 4 big standouts? I'm not going to count Rahul Dravid. I'm not going to count people in between. You have Azharuddin, you have Saurav Ganguly, you have Dhoni and Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli, he has a different brand of cricket. It's very akin to his batting. It's ultra aggressive. It won him the Australian series in Australia, which is a big achievement. But I just feel that he still hasn't reached his potential as a captain because of his temperament. That's just my opinion. I think Azharuddin was the only bright light after Kapil Dev, I think, as a captain, because he kind of was at the tail end of Kapil Dev's career, and then whatever India won in the mid-90s, and World Cup final, I think semi-final it was, and 99 when they made the Super Six or whatever. Like we never achieved a lot under Azharuddin, but whatever we won, it was with respect. He brought that, he was Captain Tendulkar. He brought in Ganguly. I think briefly Rahul Dravid. You can say that it's between Ganguly and Dhoni, because Ganguly revolutionized. Dhoni was like Ponting. He took it to the next level. My personal thing is that I don't like Dhoni at the tail end of his career because I feel that he played too many favorites. I feel that he was too stubborn at times. He stuck to his principle. Like he would bat, and like even in batting, finishing the tail, he would say, no, don't take the run. Yeah, I understand that. But like sometimes it's like, why aren't you running? What are you doing? Come on, we can even say that about Ganguly's end of his captaincy. Everyone's at the end of their captaincy had flaws, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Dhoni because there's no fixed criteria. We're not saying we're the greatest captain is the most with the most medals. We're not saying the one who revolutionized. I think Dhoni revolutionized and won titles. Fine, he took a set team or he had like a platform, but that 2007 was it the T20? He had no one. There was Joginder Sharma in that team.
Exactly.
He won with Joginder Sharma.
And that was like 4 months after the Indian team with Sachin, Dravid, all these guys, they went down to Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, like in the early stages. He took like a young team, of course, and then he built on that team and won them the 2011 too. So that's my opinion. I would give you opinion. Yeah, of course, for sure. I want to see what you want to say.
Who, me or Hamzu first?
Yeah, no, you. Hamzu's already said Dhoni.
For me, Dhoni was a better one-day captain because he won championships and he was very calm. Ganguly wasn't as calm as him, right? During the last over, Ganguly used to bite nails. Dhoni was very calm, no reaction, everything. So in terms of like calm, I want Dhoni as my captain, number one, especially in these kind of situations. But now if you look at Ganguly, still took your team to the World Cup final. He didn't win it, and that's like credit to Dhoni. He won the World Cup final. He didn't win it, okay? But now if you flip the side, Test cricket, I think Ganguly was far better. Dhoni was not a good Test captain. I don't think so, especially away from home. At home, yes, they had favorable conditions. Even Virat Kohli is a really good captain at home. I think away from home, Ganguly drew a series against the best Australian team. He drew a series in England. They competed in South Africa, and then in India they were unbeatable. He won that series against Australia, the 2001 one. So I think in Test cricket, Ganguly was a much better captain. In one-day cricket, Dhoni was a better captain, but that difference, I think, in Test cricket was more. You know what I mean? But yes, Dhoni, you can't disagree. He won new championships. Like he made that team a World Cup winning team. India became known as a championship team because of Dhoni.
And Dhoni was the number one Test side though.
He was
captain the number one.
He was the number one side, but even this was also number one Test side.
But they played a lot of home. Yeah, they played a lot of home series and everything.
But even the Virat Kohli ki jo team hai, this is also number one Test side as well, right? So you can argue that as well. But for me, I think Ganguly revolutionized everything. But yeah, if you're going to look at what got India like as champions, as world beaters, was Dhoni did that. He changed it, and that was probably because of his personality, that he was calm. Because I always had this thing whenever Ganguly, if you remember the 2004 India-Pakistan series, there were some close matches, right? Where Inzamam they were chasing like 340. You could see Ganguly's nails were gone. He used to bite his nails, and you could tell and he's shouting at his players, which is fine. That's a different type of captaincy. I like that. But yeah, and maybe you needed someone a bit more calm to win World Cups, but you can't take anything from Ganguly, especially Test captaincy for me is Ganguly.
Fair enough.
Hamzu, what do you think about Dhoni? What's your just opinion? What are your thoughts? Because I've never actually heard you talk about the Indian team that way.
Yeah, for me, I think when I was growing up, I think obviously I saw Ganguly more. I think if you ask me who was my personal favorite, I think I'd go for Ganguly. But I think Dhoni, he was like so cold-blooded. I think like in doing whatever was good for the team. I think so. And then I think even for the Test record, I think for Dhoni, I think at that time, like so many players retired. I think Dravid, Sachin, Lakshman, so many players retired. That's why I think we suffered in those abroad series. I mean, I think in England and Australia we lost. I think 4-0.
Yeah.
Both were 4-0.
I mean, they played, but they were at the end of their careers, like Tendulkar and Dravid. They were at the end of their careers when they played.
Yeah, they were there at that time.
Yeah, they were there,
Yeah.
but they were towards the end of the career, so it's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you had a choice, like who would you want in the team, rather Dhoni or Ganguly? I think I'd pick Dhoni any day. Even in Test, I think honestly, lower down the order, I think honestly I'd pick Dhoni.
Yeah, for
I
me,
think his game reading, I think IPL, I think in general,
Yeah.
like, no controversy, his consistency. I
and
think
I
for
think
a longer time.
his field placement was better. In limited overs, his field
Yeah.
placement was much better. Like, he knew where to place the fielder. If you notice that 2011 World Cup also against Pakistan, they were defending 260. His field placement was perfect that day. And bowling changes, so you can't argue with that. Like, I can't argue
But
with
I
that either.
mean, Ganguly, obviously, I think growing up, he was like really, really good. I mean, probably the favorite, like I said, but.
But Hamzu,
just-
in Test cricket,
Yeah.
Ganguly was, for me, I don't know what you think, but for me, Ganguly
Yeah.
was a better captain in Test cricket
Yeah,
because
I think Test cricket, Ganguly definitely shades it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying there's not like a huge difference. I think Dhoni was. I think he had. a poor team
Dhoni's
compared to
problem was
Ganguly, I think.
Dhoni's problem was away from home, and I think
Yeah.
at that time there was a lot of T20 cricket, one-day cricket, so maybe that was influencing his Test captaincy. I feel.
Probably.
Maybe that could have been, but
I think in the start of his Test captaincy he was decent. I think in the end, I think he was so tired
Yeah.
by the sheer amount of games. I think he was losing interest in Test cricket.
yeah,
So.
because they lost a couple of series in Australia,
Yeah.
in South Africa, in England as
Yeah.
well. Whereas Ganguly's team, they competed like
He
pretty
competed,
well. But yeah, I think I can say Dhoni. Like, it's very difficult, but yeah, Dhoni is
I
fine.
mean, I agree 100% that
Yeah.
probably this is as close as a second that Mahela was to Ranatunga.
That's why I wanted to do
But-
two different. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, fair enough. I know you want to do two different.
Yeah.
It just like makes it, yeah. But it's as close as a second that Ganguly is to that Mahela
Let
was
me make
for.
it easy for you. ICC Champions Trophy, World Cup, and T20 all in the bag. I don't think you can mess with Dhoni.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So I
You
think we
forgot
have our
Champions Trophy.
And I think Dhoni competes with other captains. If you're going to do the top three now after this, Dhoni is a better pick for India to compete against other captains.
For top three, let's just do our own like different ones.
our
right?
own. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's.
From
that's,
this 10, is that fair enough? From this 10, we'll do our own three.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
from
fair.
these 10 only.
I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
I think that's fair.
So let's quickly round it up. I'll just say our captains are Ponting from Australia, Strauss from England, Graeme Smith from South Africa, Mashrafe from Bangladesh, Ranatunga from Sri Lanka, Sammy from West Indies, Williamson from New Zealand, Inzamam from Pakistan, and MS Dhoni from India,
Andy Flower from Zimbabwe.
and Andy Flower from Zimbabwe. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's go. Bhaiya, give me your top three.
In
Nice.
order.
Number
In order.
one.
1, 2, and 3.
In
yeah.
order, I'll start from 3. So
Yeah.
number 3, Graeme Smith, because he was just a tough guy, and fine. He didn't like. I will not say Sammy, but even though he won more. I think Graeme Smith for me. Ricky Ponting at number 2, and Dhoni number 1.
All right, Hamzu.
I think I'd go Ponting 3, Smith number 2, and then Dhoni 1. I think Ponting obviously, like we said in the start, had a really good team.
Yeah.
But I just felt Smith like really maximized South Africa always. I think won 2 Test series. I think in Australia also, and then personality-wise also. I think in general, if I had to pick a captain, I'd lean towards Smith, and then Dhoni obviously number 1. You can't argue.
Yeah.
Changed it. Yeah.
And Don.
Same as Big D. But I just want to, Smith at 3, Ponting at 2, and Dhoni at 1. But it was while these guys were talking, it was really hard for me to not have Kane in my top 3 because of a personal preference on that. But I think Smith did a little bit more for South Africa than Kane has done for New Zealand. And Kane has a little bit more time. I think I think he's not yet completely done. He's not yet completely done as a captain. I think he probably has another 3 or 4 years left in him, hopefully. But that's why. So that's my reasoning. So I think Smith, Ponting, and Dhoni.
All right, I'll go with Smith, Williamson, and Dhoni. Dhoni number 1, Williamson 2, and 3 Smith.
Yeah.
I think that's what.
Why do you rank Williamson? Why do you rank Williamson at number 2?
Cool as a cucumber, man. He's like very, very calm. And I think if you look at Dhoni as well, that's why we all picked him, right? Like he was very calm under pressure. You need that. I think this World Cup, they didn't lose because of his captaincy. They just lost because of the rules. You can't really do much about it. Like, that England team was much better on paper for me. That England ODI team, जो final में था, like, and to take them that close, I think Williamson did a superb job. They lost matches, New Zealand, don't get me wrong, but like he still gathered them and took them all the way to the final. So, and with the IPL as well, with Sunrisers Hyderabad, he took them to the final. When Warner was not there, and Warner was a big miss, and he stepped up as a batsman as well that season, if you remember. So, so he can take that responsibility. Captaincy doesn't affect him. You have to remember that with captaincy, it can affect your batting. Like Sachin was affected badly as captain. With Lara as well, kind of. Peterson was affected really badly as well. So I think that's very important as well.
Dil ko lag gayi baat.
Yeah, baby.
So I'm changing my number 3. I'm giving it to Kane.
I wanted to go before you because I wanted to say Williamson, but then I'm like, let's see what you have to say because I thought you'd go with Williamson.
Because I really wanted Kane, but I felt like while these guys are talking, I wanted to, like, Smith had done more for South Africa, but I think I'll just go with Kane. I think these are preferences. There's no right or wrong answer in this, so it's just like a perfect preference on this.
And I'm just going to throw out something and say that's why I think Ponting, Dhoni, and Smith, even Kane, Williamson, it's not. Yeah, we have our preferences and stuff, but it's a very. It's. I don't think it's a coincidence that we picked them all because they're great captains, but they didn't let that affect their game, right? Like if you had to go and throw your hat in for one of the worst captains of all time, I will say Sachin Tendulkar. Like I hated the fact that he was captain because it completely destroyed his game. His record literally was garbage as a captain. He didn't do anything at all. Maybe 100 here, 100 there, because he couldn't deal with it, right?
Yeah.
So
you don't have to be the best player to be captain. That's I think.
Yeah.
But these guys are. Ricky Ponting was arguably the greatest batsman in Australian history, and he was also the greatest captain, and that's saying something. But Dhonika, you can say that too. Keeper, amazing finisher. He impacted the game.
Yeah.
He invented a cricketing shot. So yeah, I think they're all good choices. And just 2 shouts I'll give in people that from back in the day we haven't seen, just for the sake of stating it. I think Kapil Dev and Clive Lloyd are 2 big shouts.
And Imran Khan.
And Imran.
Imran Khan, yeah.
Amy. And
well.
And Azharuddin. And Ganguly. I'm sure we all loved Azharuddin as a player and captain as well. Like that style, the collar and everything, we all grew up watching. I don't know about Hamsu, but us 3, our first captain was Azharuddin when we started watching India, right? Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I think I just missed out.
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
Don, yours was Azharuddin, right?
Yeah.
Are freeze ho gaya? All right. So I think we'll conclude the episode for today. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully see you next week with some more discussion. Take care.
Thank you guys.